In FIFA 18, Adama Traoré was 75 overall with 85 potential. Fast forward 7 years later and now he is just 76 overall with just 76 potential. Today we save Adama Traoré's career. And of course here he is starting season 1, coming in at 76 overall at 28 years of age. Training is definitely going to be crucial for Adama Traoré. Kicking our first game of the season up against Manchester United, we did come on as a substitute and it was a great start for Adama Traoré. Passed out wide, Adama Traoré found it way too easy, sprinting through and slotting it past Onana to make it 2-0 for Fulham, before later on Andre Pereira would get a penalty from the spot, and of course it was always going to be a goal to make it 3-0, managing to win our first game 3-0 over Manchester United, and Adama Traoré walking away with an impressive 7.1 in just his first game. Moving on, and we are coming up against Leicester, still coming on as a substitute, and this game did not go as well as the last.
Oh, no.
Edouard managing to get through, and it was just made way too easy for him to make it 1-0 for Leicester, before later on I would step out of a penalty, and he did manage to make it 2-0 here. Adama would get a penalty himself, although it was not meant to be, as it was saved, as we would go on to lose against Leicester 2-0, and Adama Traoré walking away with just a 6.3 match rating. Moving into the third game of the season, and Adama Traoré finally had a chance to prove himself as he was into the starting 11, and Adama Traoré definitely made good on his start, proving a point, dribbling past the defender unbelievably before putting it into the back of the net, making it 1-0, and later on Jimenez would manage to get through, smashing it past the keeper, finishing the game off at 2-0, as of course we did go on to win the game at 2-0, and Adama Traoré walking away with an unbelievable 9.8 match rating. Also walking away with the man of the match, I think he has solidified his place in the starting 11. 4 games into the season and Fulham are currently sat in 6th place, and Adama Traoré has already grown as he is now up to a 77 overall, and it's not been a bad little start for him. 8 games played, 2 goals. Halfway through the season now, and Fulham have dropped down a little bit into 8th place. We are still in the FA Cup, where we come up against Huddersfield, and we have actually managed to get into the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, managing to beat both Manchester United and Manchester City. And Adama Traoré just keeps growing as he is now up to an 80 overall already, and it's not been the best start to the campaign for Adama Traoré, but also not the worst. 25 games played, 3 goals and 2 assists. Moving on, and we are of course into the semi-final of the Carabao Cup up against Doncaster. We did manage to beat them 3-0 in the first leg, and in the second leg we managed to obliterate them 6-1 on aggregate. That of course means we were into the final of the Carabao Cup up against Arsenal. However, there was just 1 goal in it, and it came from Bukayo Saka from the penalty spot to make it 1-0 in the 101st minute, so we put up a decent fight. However, of course, we did go on to lose the game at 1-0, as we did, of course, lose out on our first trophy with Adama Traoré. Moving on into the FA Cup, and we've got even more bad news as we got knocked out to Plymouth, losing 1-0. Finishing the season now, and Fulham have just missed out on European football as they have finished in 7th place. And Adama Traoré is up to an insane 84 overall, of course a +8 this season. And in the end, it was not a bad campaign for Adama Traoré. 51 games played, 16 goals and 2 assists, and that has managed to catch the eyes of a bigger Premier League team. So season 2 starts off with Adama Traoré moving to Tottenham, and we could have a very big first game here, as we do have the Community Shield up against Liverpool. And what a start to life in Tottenham colours, as Adama Traoré slotted through to Son, and of course he manages to slot it into the back of the net, making it 1-0 for Tottenham, as Adama Traoré picks up his first assist. And later on, Adama would get involved again, linking up with Sonny yet again, as of course he would pick up yet another assist, making it 2-0 in the 89th minute, as of course we did go on to win the game at 2-0 as we pick up our first trophy with Adama Traoré. Moving on, and unfortunately after the good news we are hit with bad news, as we did get knocked out of the Carabao Cup, losing to Sunderland 1-0. Halfway through the season now, and Tottenham are currently sat in 5th position. We are still in the FA Cup, where we come up against Hull City, and the Champions League is not going the best but also not the worst, as we are currently sat in 15th place. And Adama Traoré is now up to an insane 88 overall at 29 years of age, of course already surpassing his FIFA 18 potential. And what an insane start it has been for Adama Traoré at Tottenham, as he is walking away from 31 games with 23 goals and 6 assists. Also managing to lead the Golden Boot race, which of course is just an unbelievable thing to say. Moving on into FA Cup action now, and we did manage to get into the final, managing to beat Derby County, Bristol Rovers and Ipswich Town. And not only that, we did manage to book our place into the final of the Champions League, managing to beat Borussia Dortmund, Liverpool and Manchester City. Fast up, and we do of course have the final of the FA Cup, where we have the North London derby up against Arsenal, and it went very well for Tottenham. A nice pass up this side into Brian Hill, and Brian Hill managing to put it into the back of the net, making it 1-0 for Tottenham just before the half. And later on, Adama Traoré would get on the score sheet himself from the penalty spot, smashing it top bins, of course, making it 2-0, managing to go on to win the game at 2-0 as we pick up yet another trophy for Adama Traoré. Of course, moving on, and we have an even bigger game as we are back in the Champions League final up against PSG. Back in the competition since 2019, can Adama Traoré help them win it? Patrick Schick here has got Adama Traoré making a nice little run. Oh, he's just tackled way too easy. Nice. That is a lovely ball. Maddison through to Adama Traoré. He's just offside. Nice. Patrick Schick over the top two. Adama Traoré. Adama Traoré. Oh, God. Brian Hill up this wing. Still Brian Hill takes a shot and it's saved. PSG on the attack here. Vitinha through to Kvaratskhelia. And Kvaratskhelia puts it into the back of the net just after half time, making it 1-0 for PSG. Brian Hill up this wing. Is dealing with Hakimi, whips it to Patrick Schick. I think he's just offside. He is. Adama could be through here. He's completely obliterated the defender. It's still Adama Traoré, and Adama Traoré puts it into the back of the net, equalising when it was needed. 1-1. PSG could have one last attack here. I think that's just gone too far, and it has. We are into extra time up against PSG. Nice. Solanke here to Maddison. Adama Traoré is making a nice run through the middle. And of course, James Maddison has found him. It's still Adama, and Adama puts it into the back of the net. What a goal and what a run that was, making it 2-1 for Tottenham in the Champions League final. Nice. Davies here up to Brian Hill. James Maddison is making a nice run. That is not the best ball, but it's still James Maddison sprinting through. His stamina is getting less and less. But James Maddison takes it the whole way, and he manages to finish. He makes it 3-1 for Tottenham, and surely that is game over. And there we go. Of course, the final whistle has been blown, and Tottenham have managed to beat PSG 3-1 in the Champions League final. And that, of course, means Adama has done the absolute impossible, and he has won the Champions League with Tottenham, of course, meaning yet another trophy. Finishing the season now, and Tottenham have managed to finish in 4th place, of course, qualifying for the Champions League yet again. And what a season it has been for Adama Traoré, a +7 yet again, 30 years of age, coming in at a 91 overall. And the stats definitely back it up. 67 games played, 36 goals and 13 assists. We did just miss out on the Golden Boot by 2 goals. However, we are getting called up for the Spanish national team, of course, for the World Cup. And we did start the group stage strong, managing to beat Iceland, drawing with Morocco, and yet again beating Sweden. That of course means we are into the round of 16, where we would face Iceland yet again, and yet again we would go on to beat them 2-1. Into the quarter-finals, and we would face Italy, and again we did manage to beat them 2-1. Into the semi-finals, and we would face Portugal, and we would go on to beat them 2-0. That of course means we are into the final of the World Cup, where we face France. Adama Traoré on the ball here up against Theo Hernandez. That is going to be a battle and a half for this game. France on the ball with Ousmane Dembélé. Ousmane Dembélé's got Mbappe ahead of him if he wants to use him. It's blocked well. Samu here on the ball, goes for goal. It's saved. Adama up this wing again up against Theo Hernandez, who's going to come out on top this time. Adama Traoré trying to dance around. He's trying his absolute best. Passes inside to Gavi. Gavi goes for goal. It's blocked. Back to Samu, and Samu has missed. No way. Mbappe here on the ball. Still Mbappe is just sprinting past. Mbappe goes for goal. What a save. Adama on the ball. Kind of inside, Cassin inside, and he's fouled perfectly to the man in the middle, and he puts it into the box and scores a goal, making it 1-0. Adama making an unbelievable run here in the 80th minute. Can he seal it off for Spain? And he can, smash it into the back of the net, making it 2-0, sorry, in the 81st minute. And there we go, the game is over, and Spain have managed to win the World Cup. Pretty much thanks to Adama Traoré. And there we go, of course, yet another trophy being lifted for Adama. Of course, managing to win the World Cup with Spain. Of course, being a crucial part of the team, and also doing the impossible and winning Tottenham the Champions League as well as other trophies. I can confidently say Adama Traoré's career has been well and truly saved.